What's up, everybody? This is Read the Bible with me. I'm Stan Jr., and today we're looking at Genesis chapter 30. You made it more than halfway through the book of Genesis. I'm proud of you, and I'm glad that you continue on this journey with me. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and if you would like to support my channel, you can click in the description box and join the patrons there. All right, so let's begin reading. It says, chapter 30, verse 1 says, When Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, she envied her sister. She said to Jacob, Give me children, or I shall die. Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in the place of God, who has withheld from you the fruit of the womb? Then she said, Here is my servant Bilhah. Go unto her, so that she may give birth on my behalf, that even I may have children through her. So she gave him her servant Bilhah. She gave him her servant Bilhah as a wife. And so Jacob went into her, and Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob a son. Then Rachel said, God has judged me, and has also heard my voice, and given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. Rachel's servant Bilhah conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. Then Rachel said, With mighty wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister, and I prevailed. So she called his name Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had ceased bearing children, she took her servant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. And Leah said, Good fortune has come. So she called his name Gad. Leah's servant Zilpah before Jacob bore Jacob a second son, and Leah said, Happy am I, for women have called me happy. So she called his name Asher. In the days of wheat harvest, Reuben went and found mandrakes in the field and brought them to his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Please give me some of your son's mandrakes. But she said to her, It is a small matter that you have taken away my husband. Is it a small matter that you have taken away my husband? Also, Rachel said, Then he may lie with you tonight in exchange for your son's mandrakes. When Jacob came from the field in the evening, Leah went out to meet him and said, You must come in to me, for I have hired you with my son's mandrakes. So he lay with her that night, and God listened to Leah, and she conceived and bore Jacob a fifth son. So this is now Leah having a baby by her husband. And so Leah said, God has given me my wages because I gave my servant to my husband. So she called his name Issachar, which kind of sounds like the word wages in Hebrew. And Leah conceived again, and she bore Jacob a sixth son. And then Leah said, God has endowed me with good endowment. Now my husband will honor me, because I have bore him six sons. So she called his name Zebulun. Afterwards she bore a daughter, and called her name Dinah. Then God remembered Rachel, and God listened to her, and opened her womb. She conceived and bore a son, and said, God has taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, saying, May the Lord add to me another son. Verse 25. As soon as Rachel bore Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, Send me away, that I may go to my own home and country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served you, that I may go, for you know the service that I have given you. But Laban said to him, If I have found favor in your sight, I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you. Name your wages, and I will give it. Jacob said to him, You yourself know how I have served you, and how your livestock has fared with me. For you had little before I came, and it has increased abundantly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I turned. But now, when shall I provide for my own house also? He said, What shall I give you? Jacob said, You shall not give me anything, if you will do this for me. I will again pasture your flock and keep it. Let me pass through all your flock today, removing from it every speckled and spotted sheep, and every black lamb and spotted and speckled among the goats, and they shall be my wages. So my honesty will answer for me later, when you come to look into my wages with you. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and black among the lambs, if found with me, shall be counted stolen. Laban said, Good, let it be as you have said. But that day Laban removed the male goats and were stripped that were striped and spotted, and all the female goats that were speckled and spotted, every one that had white on it, and every lamb that was black, and put them in charge of his sons. And he set at a distance of 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob. And Jacob pastured the rest of Laban's flock. Then Jacob took fresh sticks of poplar and almond and plane trees, and peeled white streaks in them, exposing the white of the sticks. He set the sticks that he had peeled in front of the flocks in the troughs, that is, the watering places where the flocks came to drink. And since they bred when they came to drink, the flocks bred in front of the sticks, and also the flocks brought forth striped, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob separated the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks toward the stripe, and all the black and the flock of Laban. He put his own droves apart, and did not put them with Laban's flock. Whenever the stronger of the flock were breeding, Jacob would lay the sticks in the troughs before the eyes of the flock, and they might breed among the sticks. But for the feebler of the flock, he would not lay them there. So the feebler would be Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. Thus the man increased greatly, and had large flocks, female servants, male servants, and camels and donkeys. So this is describing how Jacob became rich. Now, when you are faithful, when you are consistent, when you are disciplined, and when you are patient, those are 4 things that you need to learn how to do as fast as you can. It's funny that you need to learn this quickly. So you need to learn how to be patient quickly. So it's funny, but being faithful, being patient, being disciplined, and being consistent, those things will help you greatly in your life. When you're not in a rush, because when you show faithfulness to someone, you're able to negotiate way better in the future, because you were faithful to them over a little. The Bible says, if you're faithful over little, I will make you ruler over much. So despise not the day of small beginnings. When you are just starting out, be faithful what God has given you, because he says if you're faithful over just that little bit that you have, God will grow that into much. When I first started this, I didn't have a lot of people watching. But now, as I'm consistent and disciplined and just reading through the entire Bible with people, in the mornings, I get over 100 people to join me reading the Bible every day. So be consistent, be faithful. God blesses the faithful. We're looking at chapter 31 next time you see me. That was chapter 30. If you have gotten any value out of reading the Bible with me and little devotions every morning, would you please consider becoming a patron of mine, someone that supports the creation of these videos? I would really appreciate that. And I pray for you every morning. Every one of my patrons, I put you on a prayer list. So please consider praying about becoming a patron, somebody that supports this ministry. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know why, please click that subscribe button. Next time I see you, we'll be reading chapter 31. This has been Read the Bible with me, Stan Jr. Peace.